Hello everyone, this is Denise from Essential Wellness and we are session 9 and we're looking at whole food plant-based cooking shows. Okay, so I said I wasn't going to do a video, but I am. And I'm going to keep it nice and short so that we can spend more time going and actually watching some of these cooking shows because I really think that they're worth it. Okay, so number one, we're looking at most of these plant-based medical programs, and we're seeing that they're supported by their own cooking show. So even Dr. Greger has his own cooking show, and I really enjoy his. He uses the same sense of humor that he has during his video talks on nutrition, and I just like to follow him. I find it really informative. Like he gives you nutritional advice as he's teaching you how to stir fry some onions. So that's Dr. Greger. So he presents his own cooking show. But it's a common phenomenon for the family members of plant-based physicians to also have a webpage with recipes and menu planners. And this makes a lot of sense. In many cases, these plant-based physicians are in their 60s, some of them are even in their 70s. So they've been eating this way for maybe 30 years or more. And so their children have grown up in this sort of environment. And as such, their children end up being or playing supporting roles. Wives as well. You often find that there are plant-based doctors and their wives do the cooking shows and the food demonstrations. So that is a very common phenomenon. So one of the ones that is fairly common is Rip Esselstyn. Rip is the son of Dr. Esselstyn, and his story is very interesting. He was a top-class athlete, did triathlons, as he says. He turned a firefighter, and then after turning the whole station, firefighter station that he was working with, plant-based, he started doing plant-based public speaking and is a food and nutrition motivator. So I like his webpage because it's easy to use. There's no fuss. It's really clear and very simple. It's not so medically. It's sort of more earthy and more down. You can get in and use it straight away. It's not so much about nutrition. It's just, how to start cooking and stuff. So Rip also has his own recipe book, and we've got copies of that if you'd like that for this course. And it has a lot of amazing recipes as well. Some of those recipes are on his website. So you've got a link there to click onto to go to his website and for the recipes. He also has a very good meal planner, which is very useful. Just about everybody in the plant-based world says that his hummus is just out of this world. So go and check it out. No oil, of course. Knows how to make it really well. So Jane and Anne Esselstyn, they are the daughter and the wife of Dr. Esselstyn. They also have a YouTube channel, and they are very, very funny. Their YouTube channel is much more just about cooking. Okay, so it's worthwhile checking it out. Each episode, they tend to do just one dish. It's like being with an auntie. It's just a very relaxed sort of site to go to and quite practical. So Jane has her own web page as well. So you can go and check her out there, and she also gives she's a registered nurse. She gives some advice and she puts you in the right direction. I think she's also a coach as well. So she partners with a number of organisations, naturally her brother and her father. She's also involved in the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and connected to Veggie Source as well, which I had put at the end. It's a good place to go to if you want to understand what everybody in the plant-based world is doing. Okay, I've given you some links there for some resources and information. There's also some other cooking and demos as well. So that Jane's very useful, very practical. Dr. Greger. Dr. Greger is, as you know, one of my favourites. He has released his own recipe book. He's got another book coming out called How Not to Diet. And he's got his cookbook as well, which is available in hard copy and electronic. And 100% of the proceeds of the sales of that book go to charity. So he also has a YouTube channel. And as I say, his presentations are very similar to his nutritional talks. So I've given you the link for that as well. Okay. So Dr. Neil Barnard is the next one. He's very well known in the plant-based world, and because he's connected with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, it's understandable that on the PCRM website that you would find a lot of resources. So they've got a 21-day vegan Kickstarter. They've also got a starter kit, which I highly recommend. And the Kickstarter program offers some nutritional support as well. So if you find you need, say you need a nutritionist and you've got some issues, you can go there and get some help, particularly if you can't afford it because it's a free program. And like I say, he's got a starter kit there. He also has an APP, which is worth downloading. And it's available through the PCRM site or on the Apple Store. And just a reminder that Dr. Greger also has an APP, but his is more for, the daily dozen, which is very useful to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients every day. Okay, so the other one I'd like to speak to you about is the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show. It's highly recommended. The woman, I don't know her name. She hasn't said. She is an American who went to New Zealand for a while and then has gone back to America. She disappeared for a while, but her story is about her journey. She started 4 years ago. She had 2 teenage daughters. She, her husband, and her two teenage daughters went whole food plant-based. And her cooking show is very simple and practical. She's got fast ways to adopt a plant-based life. She also has some practical tips on how to organise your pantry and what items to buy and how to store them. So it's a very useful site to check out, and it's highly recommended by all the other whole food plant-based professionals. Jill McKeever is a YouTuber. She's an American. Sounds like she's from the southern states. She's got a cooking show, and her style of cooking follows Dr. McDougall, and is very popular with his followers as well. It's more the healthy American style of eating. Brand New Vegan is also a very good YouTube channel to go to. It's both vegan and whole food plant-based. And it's a hip and fun YouTube channel with lots of youngish food. So it tends to focus more on comfort food, but it is not only vegan, it's also whole food plant-based, no oil. So it will help you find foods and recipes to prepare foods for reluctant and fussy eaters in your family who may not want to go plant-based yet. And you can substitute, you can swap things out and they may not even notice. And it will help you to win them over for sure. Okay, so I've provided you with a link there. And then notable sources are just at the end. They're not recipes, they're not sites for recipes or meal planning, but they are worthwhile. Veg Source, it's a YouTube channel that boasts hosting a number of plant-based physicians such as Pam Popper and Matt Letterman. It's a good place to go to if you want to keep abreast of what's happening in the plant-based world and who's doing what, and to know who to follow. And then you can expand your world a little bit more there. Okay, so he's also highly recommended by the other professionals in the plant-based world. He does a very thorough study of any of the controversies that are going on. And of course, every area industry has these little dramas and things like that, and he gets right to the source of things. Of course, it's from Veg Source. Anyway, the next one and the last one is one that's very, very dear to my heart. Ask Goji Man. I really like this guy. Ask Goji Man was offline for a couple of weeks, and I was like, everybody was really shocked. But it turns out that he'd been attacked by a few trolls, online trolls. He was at the end of doing his master's degree, and he opted to have some time off. So he pulled the put a halt to his channel, and then just finished off his studies. Now he's traveling around Europe with his wife, and he's back on track. He is an excellent, excellent resource to go to. He's somewhere between Dr. Greger, who provides you with all the nutritional facts, and say perhaps, you know, Jane Esselstyn, you know, the how do you do this, practical cooking. He's in the middle. He explains how these things work on a practical level. So, for example, if you're having difficulty digesting things, or if you have been told that you can't have nightshades or something, he goes into detail and explains it from a nutritional point of view, and helps you to deeply understand the issues. All of these people keep an eye on what research and what videos each other's doing, and so he will actually gather some of that information and just make it so much clearer for you. So like Dr. Greger, he is an amazing resource. So I know it's not strictly recipe or diet planning or menu planning, but I think that that should be there, because you may come across something and you're going, why can I not eat this? Or why can I eat this? And, you know, if you're feeling uncertain and you don't have time to access a nutritionist or a dietitian, or go and check with the doctor, you can do a little bit of research yourself by knowing who to go to get this information. And Ask Go-Jimin has very specific issues. Because he is a nutritionist, he has a lot of information about gut health, and so that's very useful. Okay, so that's all for me. And the next session is on diabetes, and we'll be doing a bit of myth busting there. So peace out from the next.